Hello and welcome to this OXID Academy training. In this video, we will extend an existing class from the shop to add template variables. The module system provides the possibility to extend standard classes. These extensions are registered in the metadata.php file. First, we need to find a suitable class to extend. Our use case is to provide product details to a newly created template. The final view is rendered by front-end controllers using the templates. Therefore, a controller is a good choice to extend. In this session, we will focus on the shop's homepage. This page is rendered by the corresponding Start controller. To start, we create our own controller file. Since this is source code, we place the file inside the src directory of our module. Within the src directory, you can decide about your structure, but we highly recommend to stick with the shop structure and add a controller directory. Same goes with the file name and corresponding class name. This means we create the file src/controller/startcontroller.php. After adding namespace and general class signature, we must add the extends keyword. Usually you would simply extend from the original Start controller, but now we must think about other extensions. We might not integrate the only module which extends this controller. This means we need to build an extension chain. However, there is no way we know about the extension chain before finishing a whole project, and even then it may change over time. Fortunately, the OXID framework assists us again with an easy solution. The framework builds the module extension chains on its own. All we have to do is to extend a pseudo class named after our custom class and append_parent. In our case, it is startController_parent. The framework will auto-generate this class and use it to build the extension chains. To fulfill the extension, we now must add an entry to our metadata.php file to tell the framework about this class extension via our module. Therefore, we add a new array key within the amodule array. The proper key to extend a standard class is simply called extend and is an array too. The keys inside this array are defined by the namespaces of the original class. The linked value has to be the namespace of your custom class. Each array element represents one extension our module introduces to the shop. Extensions are not only possible with controllers, but also with models and many other classes in the shop code. In our example, we only extend one controller. Pay attention to the namespace of the original class. There are three main namespaces in the OXID framework: OXID eSales /eShop Enterprise, OXID eSales /eShop Professional, and OXID eSales /eShop Community. This is due to the architecture of the OXID eShop editions, which all build up on each other. The Community edition is the lowest one, but contains the most logic, since it is the base for the other two editions. The Professional edition extends classes from the Community edition with additional features. The Enterprise edition does the same with Community and Professional. This leads to the issue that we actually must extend the last class in the chain. While Enterprise is always the last in the chain, it is not always available, since the Enterprise edition must not extend every class of the lower editions. We could now start to research every time we extend a standard class how the chain looks like, but even then, imagine you are building a general module for all OXID eShop users. You must build a specific module version for each shop edition. If you look closely to the example above, you see we use the namespace OXID eSales /eShop. This is the unified namespace, which you always use if it is available. This namespace puts the work to the framework again. The OXID framework generates these classes under the eShop namespace and builds up the correct chain with the edition-specific namespaces, matching the edition the user installed. These two things, extending the parent class and adding the extension definition with the unified namespace to our metadata.php file, are needed for a correct class extension via a module. Since we modified our metadata.php file, we must now install our module again to update the module configuration. It's just an OE console command, OE module install. This command requires to pass the path to our module, which will result in the following console execution. When running this command, the OXID framework updates the module configuration and also generates the module extension chains. These chains can be looked at and also their order can be changed. This might be important in case of several modules extend a given class in a similar way. Think of a module that adds a payment method called OXID coin with a small fee and another module that removes all payment fees for special customers. Depending on the order of the extension chain, the special customers will get the OXID coin without a fee, since the payment method is introduced by module A and then the fee is removed by module B. Or module B first removes the fee of all existing payment methods, but afterwards the OXID coin is added with module A. In the second case, the fee must be paid also by the special customers due to the different order. As with the module settings, the module chains are visible in two areas. First one you probably saw before is the view in the administration area under Extensions modules. On the first tab named Installed Shop Modules, you see a list of classes. Each section starts with the original class and then you find all extensions from modules right underneath it. Via drag and drop you can rearrange the order of the chains per original shop class. If you're done with that, you must hit the Save button. Then the shop framework generates the new chains depending on your modified order. This change is also written to a YAML file in the module configuration area, the var directory, and is obviously the second place where to find the chains. These files are meant for developers and they are located in the directory named with the shop ID under var/configuration/shops. There is one file per shop and it is named class_extension_chain.yaml. The contents are simple YAML structure with the original shop class namespaces as array items and the link module extension classes as elements of these. Changes in this file are naturally mirrored to the administration area due to the fact it reads and writes to the YAML files. The actual extension of the original Start controller is done, but now we must decide which methods to implement in our custom Start controller. What we need is a starting point that is definitely executed. All front-end controllers have a method called render. This method always returns the template name with which the set data will then be rendered. So this could be a suitable method to override because it is executed for sure. Another method is the init method. This one is not mandatory for all front-end controllers, but if it is available, it is executed. We can choose both of these methods. In this example, we will go with the init method. All we need to do is creating the init method in our custom controller. Make sure to call the parent's init method too. When you extend given methods, you always need to add the call to the parent to not break the class inheritance. In case of overriding the init method, you should add the parent call directly to the start of your overriding method, since the init method is always run first after the controller instantiation. If you decide to go with the render method, your return value should be the parent call. This is due to the fact the render method is always run last to finally render the view and it must return the template name, which is ensured by the overridden parent method. Inside our init method, we want to set two template variables. One is a product's title and the other is the product's price. In this example, we simply add two example values. To bind it to a template variable, you have the method addTP_elprim available. The method requires a name for the template variable as well as the value, which will be set to it. The defined template variable names can then be used in our templates whenever our method was run before the view was rendered. We now ensured we have our product details available in our template. So let's use it in the template block. This module extends a block in the shop's header area. There we add a sentence to promote our product, and as said before, we can simply use the variable with their name. Since we are using Twig template engine, the variables are outputted by using two curly brackets and the variable name. That's it. In case you do not see any changes, remember to clear the cache after any changes in templates. For more information and tutorials about the OXID eShop, check out our other videos or head to the online documentation.